Yeah, hello everybody. A very good afternoon to you all. I am Anshu Singh. I'm speaking from DoPrep. As you may already know that webinars. So going to hand over the session to Ramana Sriram. So he is currently pursuing his MSc Economics from BITSAT in 2018. So you can post all your queries regarding the BITSAT and we'll start taking up the question after that.
Yeah, hi guys, welcome to the webinar. I think sir has already introduced me, but yeah, I'm Ramana. I'm from BITSAT Hyderabad campus. I'm pursuing MSc Economics here. So if you guys have any doubts regarding your preparation, I'll try to answer them. Right. So about clearing it in 2 months, I think it depends on if you've prepared for other exams as of now or not. Right. So if you have already prepared for JEE, I think 2 months is more than sufficient to clear this examination. However, even if you've not, I think if you go through the tests and then do your NCRT, the regular 11th and 12th syllabus, the 2 months is it's a good bargain. You can clear it in 2 months even if you've not prepared specifically for JEE. That's my view on it. Is BITSAT preparation any different from JEE? Right. I think you guys would have already seen the pattern how regarding the examination. It has um, it has the extra parts of English and logical reasoning, and I think there'll be 3 chapters extra in chemistry from NCRT itself. So other than that, there is nothing really extra mile. But I definitely say that the exam pattern is different. So that's where you'll have to go your extra mile in and prepare well. Prepare yourself with that particular examination pattern, so that whatever knowledge that you have from JEE, you can apply it here easily if you're ready with the BITSAT examination pattern.
Ramana, we would like you to take this question again,
Yeah.
as maybe more students are joining the session and they have missed the answer to it. So if you could just take up this question again in a minute, within a minute,
Okay.
so I think everybody would be benefited from that. Yeah. Okay.
Right, guys. So, regarding this, how BITSAT preparation is any different from JEE, I think the extra mile part comes only in the pattern of the examination. So that's where the major difference is when you compare JEE and BITSAT. All right. Other than that, the English and logical reasoning section is there. That's one thing, and there are a few extra chapters that are there in chemistry, and I think mostly it's chemistry which has a little extra in its syllabus, right? So so the extra mile is here. The I think the English and logical reasoning part can be covered pretty easily if you have a decent English knowledge, you know. And I really did not put any extra effort into English. Logical reasoning, yes. Just Google or practice from a guide, from a proper guide, where you can, where you know what's I think, yeah. So practice from a proper guide so that you know the standard questions, right? So logical reasoning, they're really not, they're really very general set of questions which come. So there aren't very new questions. It's the same model over and over again. So that will cover up for the logical reasoning part. Now, the other extra mile that I was talking about is obviously the pattern of the examination. So it's a little quicker than JEE. You have to be a little quicker, and it's +3 -1, so that you'll have to be a little smarter than JEE. Yeah, there is there's negative marking. That's, I think it's +3 -1. Yeah, it'll +3 for one correct answer and -1 for that. Yeah. I hope that answers your question regarding the extra mile. Is that him? Okay, fine. Right. So if you have, yeah, Arhan's BITSAT prep guide is definitely good for the preparation, because see, the thing is, as with any prep guide with regarding BITSAT, you should see that, like I said, the more the models that you cover, the more easier it gets for you, right? So if you get a question of a model that you've already covered, I think so if you get a question or from a model that you've already covered during your preparation, it becomes easier in the examination, and you can spend time more on the new questions, right? So the thing with all these big prep guides is, if there is a chapter that you feel weak in, if you practice all the problems, you get an idea about the models that are there for the examination, and this way you can I think work on it. Yeah. Okay, so 2 questions regarding chemistry about how much time to spend on chemistry and how to work on a weaker chemistry part. Right, so regarding chemistry, I think this applies for both JEE and BITSAT. Chemistry equals NCRT was what my what my logic was when I was preparing for both BITSAT and JEE. So I think so yeah, so for chemistry, when you say how to prepare for it, I would tell you that go through the NCRT thoroughly. All right, and if you go through the NCRT thoroughly and read every part of it, that will cover for most part of your chemistry in the examination, right? So don't fear. I think I'm pretty sure I was really scared of chemistry. Just go through the NCRT. I think you will prepare for your board exams as well using the same book, right? So just go through it, read every line, see what kind of questions can be asked, and obviously previous questions help. So because BITS doesn't release its question papers, I'm telling you that it'll be from NCRT. So if you prepare the entire NCRT thoroughly, skim through it, read the chapters, and try to understand them and underline the important points. So this way it becomes easier. Like, so don't take too much strain on yourself. It's not really advanced level, right? Very basic knowledge from NCRT will help you to do chemistry, right? Now, regarding how much time to spend for it during the examination, that depends, right? So again, like I said, the extra mile that you're going is during the pattern. So you have to see for yourself if you want to do your easier one first, or how does it. So I think I gave right. So for my examination, I was just my logic was I'll do my chemistry first, then I'll move on to my math, then I do my physics, and then English and logical reasoning. So this was the pattern that I was following, and I think to get comfortable with the pattern, you have to practice a lot, using tests and like I said, mock tests and all these things. So that will help, right? So how much time to spend? Do not fix a certain amount of time, okay? Because I thought I can fix a certain amount of time. What will happen is once you'll understand that some subjects will be easier for you because there's a large question pool, and BITS randomly chooses questions from a question pool and gives you a question paper. So each question paper is unique. So if you find a few questions tougher, keep quickly moving off. So don't have a time like, let's say this much time I'll spend for each question fixed. Just have the order in mind, like a particular order. Let's say, like I said, chemistry, math, physics, and then English and logical reasoning. So when you're doing with this order, be ready to skip questions and keep moving on. You can always come back to you can always come back to the questions later, right? So that's my suggestion, that don't have a fixed time. Just make sure which order you want to go in, which is easier, which you think is easier for you, which will come from practice. And once you have the order, keep skipping questions. Be ready to skip the tougher questions so that you can cover the easier ones first. That's my suggestion. I think the dates, sir has already answered. Biggest mistake that you think students commit while preparing for BITSAT? I really can't think of a big mistake, but so that's a tough question. Biggest mistake. Yeah, like I said, again, it's about time management. So if you're if you're not able to manage your time well, it'll become a problem, right? Because a lot of people feel that like, you keep writing JE mock tests, a lot of them in your colleges or institutes or wherever you're studying, and you get used to this notion that you will have a lot of time to solve each question, and that way you can crack the question during the time. Whereas I think that is a mistake a lot of my friends made. They were giving a lot of time for each question. You have to be quicker than JE when you actually take your BITSAT, right? So don't have this notion that it's really we can finish it at our own pace. So you have to increase your pace when compared to the normal test. I think that's one mistake you commit. And obviously the guesswork is always there. The fact that you have negatives means that you can't take any guesses. So if you start taking guesses, it starts becoming a problem for you, right? So you try to answer all the positives, because the more the guesswork, it'll make a lot of difference, right? So let's say you got a 3 marks answer right, but you made 6 guesses which went wrong. So you get, the 3 marks are gone that you got because of the right question, and you lose 3 marks extra. So this 6 marks will actually change your campus and your branch, right? So the cutoffs will be really close. Like, you'll have to take a call. So be very cautious. At the same time, don't worry too much about the negatives, but make sure you don't take a guesswork. In case you want to take guesses, make sure that really intelligent guesses. Like, by intelligent guesses, I mean eliminating the options and focusing on what you feel can be the right answer, and then looking for a logic behind the answer, going from the reverse way, from the answers to the question. So this kind of guesswork is fine. That's the last case. So just randomly putting ABCDs or that will really not help you. And yeah, that's my suggestion. So guesswork and time management are two mistakes that people commit. Scroll a little up. Okay, so preparation after your board examinations. I think I started preparing a little before my board examinations, but that should really not a problem. I think already, if you're not there, I already answered the question regarding the 2 months. If you've already prepared for JEE sufficiently, if you've already practiced the concepts of JEE or the topics, if you covered the syllabus of JEE, and obviously your board examinations, which covers a major part of any competitive examination, I think 2 months is sufficient for you to crack it. Like I said again, make sure you understand the test pattern. If you have an idea about the pattern, it is easier for you when you go on the D-Day and sit there. You won't feel new, right? You get comfortable with the environment. so that see, the knowledge that you have from your board examinations and JEE preparation, if any, will be sufficient for solving the problems a bit. So practice a lot of problems quicker than what you practice usually, and be ready with the environment. Like be ready with how to manage your time quickly. Be ready with how to finish sections quickly, how to keep moving on from questions and not stick to the harder ones. So I think that's my suggestion. And 2 months is, I feel it's sufficient for getting into a good institute. Right. I think the engineering courses that are available in my institute, you can check it out from the bits page. Yeah. If dual degree is worth it or not, I really can't say right now. Right. I'm just in my first year. I just joined. I took my I just took MSc Economics. So I know probably 2 years from now if my dual degree is worth it or not. But so far, I feel it's been worth it. I obviously we come to campus and talk to seniors and talk to a lot of people, right? So the administration, the head who leads the placements division, he's I was just talking to him saying, sir, what are your thoughts on this dual degree that I took? So I think. Yeah, so I think dual degree is, he said, the thing is today in the industry, when you have an engineering knowledge along with a science knowledge, I think that will help you to, actually stay in the industry. Well, that was his suggestion, right? So that way the dual degree is really useful. And let us look at it from an academic perspective as well, right? So in 5 years, you will be learning from 2 degrees, 2 different fields, both of which you can apply properly and probably merge together. However, let's talk. So the dual degree works this way, right? You come to the campus in the first year. You take your MSc degree first, right? So you take your master's in science degree first. That can be economics, physics, chemistry, biological sciences, and then in the second year, based on the score of your first 2 semesters, based on your CGPA in the first 2 semesters, all the people who took a dual degree will be offered a engineering degree, right? So when you're offered an engineering degree, you'll put your preferences, and based on the preferences order, the one with the higher CG will get his first preference, and so on and so forth. So how the process works, right? So so based on that, based on your CG, you get a better course, or whatever it is. So that makes it a dual degree. So that will be a BE in engineering. So by the time by the time 5 years end, you will get a BE in engineering and an MSc in whatever dual you've chosen. For example, I've chosen economics. So I think, yeah, for so far it's been from what I hear from people, it is worth it. Substance abuse. Right. So regarding the difficulty level of studying after coming here, even I heard out, I'd say, so I think Hyderabad campus cutoff will be lesser, and we can easily get a dual, but it doesn't work that way, right? So everybody, there's equal amount of competition, but yes, the dualites will be, there'll be a few of them who will be, who will be really keen on getting a particular subject. So because they're keen, they start working really hard. Whereas a lot of them feel they'll put in their efforts. However, they'll feel a lot of friends who feel that they'll take what they get, right? So because there are a lot of people who are keen in getting whatever second degree that they want, that's one of the reasons that they work really hard. And I really wouldn't say this makes the studying difficult. You see, because if you're studying regularly, nothing's difficult. It's pretty much the same as 11th and 12th, to be very honest with you, unless you consider some new courses that you will have. So that way, I really wouldn't say it increases the level of difficulty to some extent. Yes, because there are people who are keen on getting a degree, let's say computer science or mechanical. So they're keen, so they want to achieve it. So they'll make sure that the grades are high enough so that they don't have any competition. Other than that, everybody just regularly attends classes and does the way it works. Yeah. Right. So logical reasoning and English proficiency. I've already answered this question, but let me get back to answering that question again, because it's the extra mile. So like I said again. So regarding English proficiency, if you feel that you have sufficient English knowledge from your school or from conversations, I think that should be enough to crack the English proficiency part, right? Because there'll be some very basic questions, rearranging the lines to form a proper paragraph, so on and so forth. So all these comprehensive activities will be very easy if you have minimum English knowledge. There'll be some questions, which will say, define what's the definition of this, what's the antonym of this. So these are very, let's say particular questions, right? They're very streamlined. Like you really don't have a generalization for these things unless you can crack the meaning from words from before, right? So other than this, like if you want to really prepare, I think you can prepare with the meanings and all these things, which definitions which you can't remember from your daily usage. Otherwise, daily usage of English, say completing a paragraph, filling in the blanks with some prepositions, rearranging to form a suitable paragraph. These activities are really easy, and I think the knowledge from schooling and your daily conversations is more than enough. So spending extra time for English is really not worth it. But if you feel you're a little uncomfortable, just get some book. There'll be people saying read the newspaper and so on and so forth. I don't know. I'm a believer. I believe that it's otherwise, right? Suddenly if you start reading newspapers, your English is not going to improve. So whatever knowledge you have from before with English from school should be more than enough to crack the English part. There'll be some questions which nobody can get right, and don't do if you can do an intelligent guess there, well and good. There'll be a very particular definition saying what's the definition of this, right? So that'll be those kind of questions. If you know it, you know it. Otherwise, there's nothing cracking in, right? So such kind of questions I've left in my English proficiency test, but otherwise it's very general from the knowledge that you have from before. Regarding logical reasoning, there'll be models which there'll be some standard models, right? Like completing the pattern, then verbal logical reasoning was my test. It depends again, like I said, so it's really random, so it depends on your test. But for logical reasoning, just make sure you get a guide which has logical reasoning. I think I used the guide from Disha Publications. I used their guide, yeah. So I used their guide for the logical reasoning part, or any guide for that matter, because logical questions, like I said, there are a steps that you have to cover. So if you just go through the algorithm of each of the models, right? If there's a pattern, solve a certain number of pattern problems so that you get a hang of it. So that you the pattern problem. So that way, I think that'll help you do the logical reasoning. Take a book, do all the standard models once. So that way you'll know how to go about it. So that in the examination you need not process something newly. These will be things which are already processed, which you already know that okay, this is going on, or this is going on. Okay, so this is the way I have to think about this problem. This is the way I have to go about this problem, so on and so forth. I think the stream is really laggy. We'll wait for a minute for it to load properly. Yeah, hello. Is it better now? Okay, I think I'll just continue answering the question so that you at least get my audio. Anyways, 1 second. Let me just questions. Yeah, so logical reasoning and English proficiency, I think, answer the question. If you have any particular doubt in that, let me know. So in general, I've answered that question, right? Best guide for math. Again, dude. Let me tell you, the most part of BITSAT I feel is based on models, right? So unlike JEE, the number of new problems that we'll be getting will be very less, uh, like when compared to JEE in BITSAT, right? So in BITSAT, you'll be having a lot of standard models because there's very less amount of time. So even the examiner knows that. So okay, fine. We'll definitely have some questions which are new, but most of them will be based on models that the students would have already done, is what he assumes, so that it'll test your speed, how well you can apply your knowledge in a very limited amount of time. That's what all these tests are for, right? So for mathematics, again, I'd say just go through some guide that you brought. Either, like you already, I think it was you who asked me about the Arahant Vichart guide, or any guide for that matter, because all these guides, a well-researched guide, I'd say Arihant is one of them, and I think DoPrep themselves have one of them. They've sent me model that's pretty much that's pretty good, in terms of the kind of questions that come for these. Right? So once you know the kind of questions that come in each of these topics, say, let's just take, for example, and statistics, right? So for probability, you'll have, if you look at the questions, you'll see some repetitiveness, right? So okay, so this question's done, this question, just keep covering all the models once, and then start working on your speed, right? Um, so cover all the questions once, all the models once, because BITSAT will be majorly based on the the models, right? Like I said, so this way, if you, even for mathematics, each topic, if you take and cover your standard cover the standard models from each of all the standard questions, which you think will be obvious, like after 2 years of preparation, I think you'll be able to know that, okay, fine, so this question has come so many times in my examinations and during my preparation, and my teacher has mentioned this so many times that I'm pretty sure that this is the standard model. So that's what I mean by standard model. Questions which are for sure asked. Let's say if you take a topic, oh, this kind of question must be there, right? So such kind of questions, if you solve from before, just know how you solve. This way, amount of time that your brain applies for processing something new reduces. You get extra amount of time for those questions which are not which are not known from before. That's one thing. And if you practice them thoroughly, you will also increase the speed at which you do these questions. So for mathematics, take each topic, look at what kind of questions are asked in the guides. Just quickly go guide and see, okay, these are the formulae, or these are the concepts that I have to know for answer. So learn the concepts or formulae based on the questions that are being asked in the guides, or from the BITSAT prep guide that you have from DoPrep or the Arihant. This way, you know what kind of models are there. Now, once you know that, learn the concepts and the formulae. After you learn the concepts and the formulae, practice a lot of problems so that you can save further time for the newer questions that you're going to get. Okay. So I'm in the Hyderabad campus right now. What makes you feel BITS is worth it? Let's come to that stages, so that I'll finish answering the preparation questions, so that then we can talk about life in BITS, so on and so forth, if that's not a problem. Okay. Yeah. Pretty good physics, English, logical reasoning, communication, management. Please suggest me work from BITS, assuming I start after my boards. So, so I, for at least for me, in the stage that I studied, I've not, stressed myself out for boards. Yes, it's important indeed, but I'm pretty sure if you go coaching centers, so on and so forth, they would have already told you that, both the assumption all the way for your JE prep or BITSAT prep. Well, don't believe them completely. Both are really important because those are the grades that people see further on when you come here, like appearing for a summer internship that I want to apply after my first year. Definitely the board mark, because in your resume CV, nobody's going to ask you what your BITSAT score was. What they're going to ask you is what your board scores were, what's your percentage, right? So now that you're saying you're good in engineering, in logical reasoning, I think it's safe to say just practice the model from a prep guide once, both English and logical reasoning. Don't stress out. Don't stress if you care about English, like I said, it's very abstract, but you'll get it only if you know it, right? These kind of questions will be very less in the examination, in the actual BITSAT test. So them, just practice the models. Now regarding physics again, like I said, BITSAT, all the subjects are mostly about models. When it comes to there can be some amount of theory as well. So this board exams that you're giving, just don't practice them from a very let's say question point of view, from a practice paper point of view. Both go with your board exams from perspective of how you can learn the concept while you're preparing for your board exam. So strengthen the concept while preparing. That is set a very good. After that, when you start preparing, like I said, take a mock test. Take a mock test first, because that will give you a very good idea of where you stand. I did that. I took 2 free to prep as soon as board exams were done, and I think I scored less than 230-ish. I scored 220, 30-ish in my first test. So that will, and because there's an analysis, that will give you an idea where you're not, right? So give these tests with your complete effort, put in your all, so that that way you will be you'll be able to know where you stand in with regards. So after you give your test, how to go about it is look at each side, see which part of it are you going wrong. Are you not able to do certain particular model in a particular this thing if you do a formula? In case you're not able to do a model, then it's very good because you can immediately quickly and okay, and not being able to ask any questions. I said your board preparation that you're doing right now, do it with with a lot of effort, so that because the theory, physics, and chemistry is majorly based towards state or central or the ICC board. Right? So whatever it is, the physics part that is there is takes a lot of its part from the board exam. So they really helpful if you prepare the theory really your board examinations. And after that, take a mock test, see where you're standing, practice the models or the areas in which you feel, and keep regularly checking yourself. Okay, prepare a little bit, check yourself again. Prepare a little bit, check yourself again. Keep checking yourself throughout the road to actual examination. So this way, have an idea where you're lagging, improve, and that way it'll help you to do well. Don't feel bad about scores and lesser scores in the mock test, because it's only for practice, right? It's for the environment. It's for how quickly you're able to do the questions, so on and so forth. So really don't worry. Look at how you approach the question, because lower scores in mock really don't matter, right? So don't give a lot of weight to it. Even I thought I get really low scores in the DoPrep because I know I probably did not manage my time well initially. So it had been gradually increasing. So actually, like I said, 230, and I think my highest was somewhere around 274, 280ish, and that's what I got in my actual test as well, 289. In my actual test as well, what I learned from my last DoPrep test, that that I spent a lot of time on questions which I'm pretty sure I won't get. Those are things I learned. So learn from the tests is my major advice that I can give, especially for BITSAT after their board examinations. Yeah, that's my advice. Okay. Uh, right. How can we get your study guide? I think sir has answered. He has put the link for it. Which reference book should we refer? Right. The major reference is going to be NCRT. That's that's a really major reference book. If you if you've already prepared for your JE using some other learning solutions like Engage or Arihant books, just go through whatever you've already gone through before the examination. So that I really do not suggest any new reference books for BITSAT. The reference book is NCRT. The problem solving book have a guide that you can have, which will give you concisely the formulas and the concepts of the chapter, and immediately a lot of problems. So if you can keep practicing those are the kind of books that you should be looking for BITSAT preparation instead of reference books. I'm repeating this again from my observation. BITSAT is majorly based on models, and a new question where you'll have to think completely from square one will be the probability is really less. So the more the models you practice, I think the better you get at taking the BITSAT pattern test. That's my suggestion. So reference books, NCRT, more than reference books, I'd suggest go for practice, and you really don't need a separate reference book for BITSAT as such. Yeah. Any other questions? And so I think if you have any particular questions about the test or the pattern or how to study a particular chapter, you can ask me for that. Otherwise, we'll move on to I think Tejas's question about why I feel this is worth it or not. I think I'll just wait for one more minute for your question.
Another will take them up. Yeah. So
Right. So I think I'll just answer this question regarding what makes you feel this is worth it. First thing is, the thing with institutes like the IITs and BITS is that they have a very strong name and they're very prestigious, right? Before, I think I took science as my stream in 11th and 12th, I used to wonder, what do these institutes have that makes them so popular, so why are they at the top and why can't anybody else reach them, right? So after coming here, I think because of the kind of tests, one factor is because of the kind of tests that you have, because of the kind of preparation that you go through for getting here, you will have a really good peer group, right? So the peers that you have in your in your friend circle, these really add to your campus life. So for example, my friends have I was interested in economics through my 11th and 12th. That's when I found my interest, which is why I wanted to take something an engineering with economics, and that's the way my thing worked. So when I come here, there are seniors, who are doing a lot with regards to economics, right, and finance for that matter. So the kind of peer group that you have here is probably unparalleled. I can say that because I have a lot of friends in a lot of other engineering colleges, and well, I think I'll put it here that I feel this is better than an IIT with regards to its peer group, because well, for reasons I think which you can probably guess. I won't say that here, but yeah, a major factor of it is the kind of peer group, is the kind of people that you're around. Because even in my flow, there are a lot of people who right then in your first year are doing projects like based on how how much alcohol you consumed, the car, the machine will decide if the car has to move or not, right? So sitting in your driver's seat, he made a technology which can tell you if the car should move forward or not. It will check your alcohol level, and only then it will start, right? So things like these, other guys just like 2 rooms away. So these kind of things kind of inspire you to do something really innovative, right? And yeah, again, like I said, because there are a large number of people with a lot of different hobbies, a lot of different activities, this kind of helps you to have an all-round friend circle, right? So there's English language activities, there's Wall Street Club, there's dance, there's music, there's everything that you can look for, right? There's journalism, there's photography, there's videography. So other than just the academic part, there are a lot of other activities which I think make BITS what it is, right? So I feel it's these activities that make the coding club, for example, they've I think they've reached the world stage in ACM ICPC, which is an international coding competition. And for just saying that, even in the coding club, there are more people from a non-computer science field than there are from a computer science field, right? So BITS gives you this freedom to apply your knowledge in various fields, and make use of all the knowledge that is there around you to apply it in something that interests you. And this and the 0% attendance policy that our college has actually facilitates this even further. So I think that's one thing. And again, like I said, this is specifically with regards to BITS. I really didn't find it in my with my friends in other colleges, like say IITs or NITs, because this freedom that you have and this flexibility that you have is very, very specific to BITS, is what I feel from being here so far. But in general, for all these prestigious institutes, what makes them really worth going to is the alumni network, because you can even while playing a video game, you'll find a Bitsian who has graduated from either your campus or a sister campus, and that really makes it easier. You need people when you get out in the industry. Like, I've seen a fourth yearite person who just started a startup of solar panels cleaning solar panel cleaning robots, right? So there was an alumni who's in this industry and has helped him let's say has helped him find clients to get it done. So this alumni network and the peer group and the flexibility around you are what make these institutes what they are. That's my opinion on it. Yeah. I don't know about the Times model mock test. I think the only thing that I took was DoPrep. So there's this website called Go IIT, and my friend told me about it, that let's just join this forum. So when I joined the forum, a lot of people were discussing about DoPrep, that it's really it's the same environment as the actual test. It's just, so you can actually do it in the same environment. So that's why I chose this, and I stuck to it because I liked it, and I really didn't go for any other mock test, to be very honest. So I can't give you an answer regarding others.
Okay, thanks, Ramana. Thanks a lot for your time and your valuable feedback. So, if you have any other questions regarding the preparation of BITSAT, you can send us your queries on our email ID, and I will ask Ramana to answer them via mail also. It was a pleasure having you over in the webinar, Ramana.
Thank you,
And
sir.
yeah, and we would like to keep our association going on and help you in your career progression
Yeah,
also. Thanks a lot.
definitely. Thank you.
Description of the YouTube page. Just go over there and fill up the confidence level sheets of each subject. And once you do that, we'll get back to you. And in the meantime, you can take a free test. Plan for your preparation for this. Queries, just ping us on the mail or on the chat window on our website. We'll get back to you. Yeah. Thanks a lot. Ramana, there is one question which can we take just before departing?
About the last question that's there.
Yeah.
All right, I really can't hear you. I think you're talking about the last question, that is, can we easily get distracted and what can we do? I was easily distracted during the end of my preparation, and I started kind of say giving up. Right. I think that's when I thought to myself, like the theory that I just use on how these institutes are. I think I explained myself, okay, so this institute is so if I have to get there and be among, I have to prepare really well, right? And if I and not that nobody has the practice, and it's the hard work that you put in that will convert into results. So I kept feeding myself with this motivation that I have to be amongst people who can make a difference in the world very easily without a struggle. So you can easily get to the finally any institute that you study, the path to becoming a CEO or XYZ will be the same. What these institutes do is they put you on a higher level at an earlier stage, which helps you do whatever you want to do faster, more easily, and more efficient. So that's one of the ways that I motivated myself and told myself every time I get distracted that if I do this right now, I can't be where I want to be. Right. So other than that, giving up is not the only thing that I did. I think that's what because during the last days of two years, right? So when you feel I think this is one of the reasons you should try to minimize the usage of is try to minimize its usage, and also on the other hand study too much, right? Because the fact that you study too much means that you're really not able to concentrate on a particular thing for a long time. All right. So so if you're confident of preparation so far, just make sure that you have a timetable which is a little more flexible than your before preparation, because during the last days of your preparation, relaxation is a little more important than just studying for hours. If you've done all this, if you put in these hours, keep your keep your timetable a little flexible. Do a test a day or a test every alternate day, and study during the last few days. So if you relax and study and put in these hours, it will help for removing the distractions for a major part of it, because you're not stressing yourself too much. So that's my suggestion for that.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Ramana. So we'll put an end
Yeah.
to this session right now.
Right.
So we'll get back to you, planning the webinar. Yeah. Thank you.